This is my first video update for Tuesday morning, coming to you from Nicosia, Cyprus. Let's talk about some news and let's do an update to the Ukraine precision missile strike in a town right outside of Donetsk. And we have the Russian Ministry of Defense, an official statement from the Russian MOD. Yesterday, when I was reporting on this story early in the morning on Monday, we did not have a clear picture with regards to the damage done from this precision missile strike and the actual casualty numbers. Now we have an official statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense, and I would like to read you that statement from the Russian MOD. The Kiev regime has launched a strike with 6 rocket-propelled projectiles by U.S.-manufactured HIMARS MLRS at the provisional base of a unit of the Russian armed forces near Matveyka, Donetsk People's Republic. Russian air defense facilities have shot down 2 HIMARS projectiles. The impact of 4 rockets with high explosive warheads has resulted in the death of 63 Russian servicemen. Families and friends of these servicemen will be fully assisted and supported. We also have news from the Kremlin that Russian President Vladimir Putin has instructed the military and the investigative committee to investigate and report back by the 6th of January after he was informed of what happened in Matveyka. So that is the official statement from the Russian Ministry of Defense. RT reported that more than 63 were killed, 63 servicemen were killed in this precision missile strike. Russian telegram channels are reporting around 160, 65, 68 servicemen were killed and wounded in this missile strike. And the Elensky regime and the Ukraine telegram channels and analysts are reporting a number of around 300 to 400 casualties from this missile strike. So obviously the Elensky regime, they're going way high. The Russian Ministry of Defense is reporting 63. Those are the reports that we are getting, though Reuters did note that the claims from the Elensky regime and the Ukraine side of things of 300 to 400 servicemen killed or wounded cannot be verified. So those are the reports as of this moment with regards to this story and this precision missile strike. From what I understand, debris and rubble is still being cleared up, and expect that 63 number to rise as the day goes along. As RT noted, more than 63 casualties. That is what those are the words that RT used in their reporting. And notice the words that the Russian Ministry of Defense and actually the entire Russian government, the Kremlin, and the other Russian media outlets, the word that they are using in describing this attack, they are saying American-supplied MLRS and American manufactured, U.S. manufactured HIMARS. They are using that word in all of their statements connected to this missile strike. U.S. manufactured HIMARS and MLRS is the exact words used by the Russian Ministry of Defense. The Kremlin, I believe in various statements, the Russian government, they use the word American manufactured HIMARS, and the Russian media is using the same wording. So the Russian government and the Russian Ministry of Defense, they are absolutely signaling that this was in part made possible, this precision strike was made possible in part by the United States. I've also read statements from various Russian politicians and analysts who are using the word NATO supplied HIMARS as well. Either way, they are the Russian side of things is signaling that the collective West has had a role to play in this strike on this this school right outside of Donetsk city. Zero Hedge notes that Ukraine seems to now be openly boasting of its U.S. supplied capabilities in the wake of the mass casualty attack on Makvivka. Zero Hedge also says that there's currently no confirmation or clear evidence that U.S. supplied HIMARS were indeed used, as the Russians allege, but the fact that the facility struck was significantly behind the front lines may point to a longer range weapon being used, such as has been supplied by Western powers. That is what Zero Hedge is reporting. There are also a lot of reports saying that the precision missile strike was made possible because of cell phone usage at this school. Zero Hedge is also reporting that this was the single biggest loss for the Russian military in this war. So that is an update with everything that is going on in and around this precision missile strike. Let's put some context to this, and we will go to Brian Berletic's Telegram channel, where he put up this post. I want to reiterate, the attack by Ukraine on assembled Russian forces, killing 63, has been extensively covered by pro-Ukrainian media sources solely because it doesn't happen often. Conversely, precision Russian strikes on assembled Ukrainian troops and equipment, killing scores and destroying millions of dollars of irreplaceable equipment, happens nearly daily. Case in point, yesterday there was an enormous explosion in Druskovka, which appears to be a Russian missile strike delivered at a temporary location of the armed forces of Ukraine is in Druskovka, and there's actually a French TV channel that was reporting from this area. And as the reporter was reporting, there was this huge explosion. You can see it right in back of him, this huge explosion in the background, and he ran for cover. So this was actually caught on a French TV channel, this attack on Druskovka, a military facility there. And you also had the Russian Ministry of Defense report that 70 foreign mercenaries were killed and more than 100 wounded in Air Force strikes against foreign Legion units in Markovo and Kramatorsk districts. This is according to the Russian Defense Ministry. I'm just saying, I'm reporting this because it adds context to Brian's statement, which is that there is a lot of talk about this precision missile strike, which I consider it to be perhaps the biggest success of the Ukraine military to date in this conflict. I think this eclipses Kherson and Kharkiv and all of that nonsense. I think this is without a doubt the Ukraine military's biggest success to date in this conflict. And what Brian is saying is that, yes, this was a Ukraine military success, this precision missile strike, but as you can see from just two stories that I read out to everybody, the Russian military, they're conducting these precision missile strikes on a daily basis. Anyway, look, that is the situation. We're going to have to wait and see until January 6th what the Russian government will do, if anything, if they will retaliate at all to this missile strike, which I believe to a certain extent is meant to knock the Russian plan, the military plan, off balance. I believe that's one of the purposes of this precision missile strike. But what it also does is that it keeps the hopium alive for the collective West with regards to Ukraine, and it will undoubtedly lead to more money and more weapons for the Elensky regime and many of collective West leaders clinging on to the hope that Ukraine can defeat the Russian military, or at a minimum deliver such significant pain to the Putin government that Russia is forced to negotiate on collective West U.S. terms, which would mean a complete withdrawal of Russia from all of the all of the 4 regions, as well as Crimea. So I think a strike like this, with its media amplification, will continue to provide much of the hope that Collective West leaders are clinging on to. Ursula von der Crazy, she called up Elensky over the new year and said that the EU would support Kiev for as long as necessary, for as long as it takes. And she said in a tweet, quote, "We will support you this winter with generators, light bulbs, shelters, and school buses. And we are continuing our strong financial support. We will soon start paying out our support package of 18 billion in monthly tranches. I look forward to seeing you again in Ukraine soon." It's very interesting, the words used in this tweet, isn't it? We will soon start paying out our support package of 18 billion in monthly tranches. It's almost like the EU owes Elensky money, like they have a debt to pay to Elensky, the way this tweet is worded. Doesn't it sound like that? It's like Elensky is the mob or the mafia, and Van der Crazy is being called up to pay the money that is owed to the mob or the mafia. You know, we will. Oh yeah, Elensky, we will make the payment. Please, don't do anything to us. We'll make that payment. I promise you. We got 18 billion coming up. Very interesting use of words in that tweet. Anyway, for as long as it takes. That's the mantra of the Collective West, and what this missile strike does is that it provides hope that for as long as it takes will eventually lead to their dream victory over Russian President Putin. Stoltenberg said on the BBC the other day during an interview that the war will be protracted. Russia is preparing an offensive. Its goal is to take control of all of Ukraine. This is what the NATO Secretary General told the BBC. He said, "We must be prepared for a long journey because, as you noticed, Russia does not intend to give up its main goal, establishing control over Ukraine." That is what Stoltenberg said, and he leaves out the fact that NATO's ultimate goal is to continue its control over Ukraine and to eventually expand its control over the Russian Federation. Do we have a clown world for today so we can wrap up this video? Let's see. I don't think I have a clown world, to be quite honest, for today. I do want to report on this story. I just saw this story right now. The Prime Minister of Poland promised in a conversation with the Prime Minister of Ukraine to be indignant at the heroization of Bandera. We are extremely critical, very, very negative about any glorification of even mention of Bandera. In my next conversation with Ukrainian Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal, after what happened, I will say this very, very clearly. And then we're going to give Ukraine money, weapons, our Polish soldiers and our Polish mercenaries to the regime that celebrates the birthday of Bandera. I don't understand Poland. I really don't. I don't understand the Polish government at all. This law and justice government has completely confused me. On certain issues, on domestic issues, they seem to be spot on, I guess. I don't know. But when it comes to this Ukraine thing and supporting a government that just yesterday was celebrating the birthday of Bandera, which they do every year because Bandera is considered the national hero of Ukraine. They have streets named after Bandera. They have statues named after Bandera. I mean, the whole works. This is not like a secret. It's out in the open. Every other street is named Bandera. But the fact that they just go along with this and just continue to provide weapons and money and men now they're providing actual men, and it looks like they're going to provide even more forces into Ukraine. That's how it looks. I don't understand Poland. After you get stuff like this, the celebration of Bandera's birthday, I really don't understand this government in Poland at all. How can you support another government that so openly supports and glorifies a man that did the most vicious things to Poles? I don't get it. Just don't get it. Anyway, let's see. Clown World. I'm trying to find the Clown World. I don't have. I really, really do not have a Clown World. I'll just end the video there, everybody. theduran.locals.com. Look for us on Rockfin as well. And check out Alexander's channel. Check out the Duran's channel, Telegram, BitChute, ODYSEE, and Rumble. You can find us on all of these platforms. Take care.